A Henderson woman charged after animal control says she threw toxic food into her neighbor's yard, poisoning the family pet. They spoke to News 3's Katie Munch exclusively.
The couple says it's a miracle that Jasmine, their Wheatley Terrier, survived after spending 7 days at a vet clinic. They had no idea what happened until they watched their ring video and found these small pills scattered in their backyard.
They are trying to kill her.
What did you think as you were watching it?
Terrifying?
Yeah, horror. And almost like you can't imagine it happening.
This is the state that Jennifer Lloyd and Christopher Smith found their dog Jasmine in after returning home from Easter celebrations.
She kind of was just really lethargic, and then all of a sudden she vomited in the living room, and there were huge chunks of food in it, and it didn't look right.
After rushing her to a veterinarian, they learned Jasmine had been poisoned with acetaminophen, or its brand name Tylenol, and needed to stay overnight.
Ring camera videos, because we're like, well, what? Maybe it's outside somewhere. Like, what happened? And that's when we saw the food being thrown over the fence.
The food were thrown into their yard, and Jasmine scarfing it down.
And then we could hear them saying things on the videos to her because they know her name from just living next to us, like calling her over. And then saying some kind of awful things for what we could make out, kind of like, we've been out this all day, are you done yet?
In their yard, these pills. The couple reported the incident to animal control. We obtained the documents from the Henderson courthouse. Their neighbor cited for an unlawful substance on the ground to endanger an animal and fined nearly $10,000.
I can't imagine just getting to the point where you would poison someone's dog. Apparently because she barks sometimes, without coming to me or calling animal control. And the couple says that the neighbor later apologized and blamed their behavior on being under the influence of alcohol. They say that Jasmine is showing great signs of improvement, but they are concerned that the poisoning could have some later effects.
Here at home, there's some confusion over property tax caps in Clark County. Hundreds of homeowners thought an impending deadline could cost them thousands of dollars. Our Lauren Clark is joining us. She's been sorting through all this today. And Lauren, first of all, explain what these tax caps are and why this is such a big deal.
Yeah, Jim, well, here's the basics. There's two types of tax caps for properties. Primary residences, that's where people live, that one is at 3%. Then all other properties like rental, commercial, industrial, and more, those are at a much higher 8%. Now, unless you tell the assessor's office that your property is a primary resident, it's taxed at 8%. But today, we saw a lot of chaos and confusion about these tax caps and any deadlines, a consequence of misinformation. Outside Clark County's main building Wednesday.
I just found out about it this morning. I had no idea.
An unusually busy and chaotic scene.
And now they have this mad rush to try to get everyone's property taxes lowered.
Cars stuffed in the parking lot.
This inconveniences, as we can see out here in the parking lot. A lot of people had to rearrange their schedules.
Long lines inside and people taking time off their days.
Actually pretty bad. I had a job interview right now that I had to reschedule right now.
To fulfill what they thought was a looming deadline.
Only today and tomorrow that they can come.
A lot of the panic fueled from information circulating through social media or texts like this one, telling people they had until June 30th to inform the assessor's office that their home is their primary resident. That way their tax cap would only be at 3%. And if they missed the deadline, they would apparently be stuck at a much higher tax cap of 8%. The problem?
No one is ever stuck at the 8% tax cap. That is not how that works.
That's not true, says Brianna Johnson, the Clark County assessor.
Homeowners have always had the ability to change their tax cap throughout the entire year. By statute, yes, June 30th is the deadline, but it is the deadline for every fiscal year.
Meaning all this hustle, bustle, and chaos at the office isn't necessary. Per state law, Johnson says it's the property owner's responsibility to tell the assessor's office that their property is their primary residence. If they don't, they'll get the default tax cap for other properties. She says every time there's a purchase of a property, her office sends a card asking the owner to explain how the property will be used.
If you told us it was your primary residence, it has been on your parcel this entire time.
But if you think you threw away that card or simply don't remember, here's the good news. You have plenty of time to fix it.
They have up until June 30th of next year.
Yeah, so June 30th of next year, plenty of time to talk to the assessor's office and tell them that that is your primary residence. So how do you know if your primary home is at the correct 3% tax cap? Well, you can head over to the treasurer's office. We have a link to that right here on our website. All you have to do is click the link that references it, add your information that you see right there. And again, this isn't an annual process, meaning you won't have to do this again unless you do something like rent out or add the property to a trust or something like that. Now we have a lot more information about this confusing topic on our website. We break it all down for you. All you have to do is head out to news3lv.com.
The Cannabis Compliance Board approving regulations to finally open up consumption lounges in Nevada. For years, tourists have been able to buy it legally but had no place to legally smoke it. And there's a big push now to include those who have been adversely affected by the criminalization of marijuana in the past. For what it'll look like, we go to reporter Brett Forrest live downtown for us tonight with our big story.
Hey Jim, good evening. This latest approval means a few things. We could be seeing these cannabis consumption lounges as early as by the end of this year. And as you mentioned, maybe a little more diversity in the industry and hopefully a little less marijuana smoke in places like the Strip and downtown Las Vegas.
This here is our open area. So this is a lounge where you'll be able to just sit.
This is Frank Hawkins, one of the owners of Nevada Wellness Center, the only black-owned dispensary in the state of Nevada.
Folks will be able to rent this room out to do whatever they want to do, have parties, watch games.
The massive cannabis lounge, located right above the dispensary, sat empty for well over 2 years due to uncertainty on the state level, but Hawkins is a patient man.
We're here, we've been here, and we're going to be here. So we're in it for the long haul, not the short run.
Part of the new regulations focus on social equity applicants, giving 10 of the first 20 independent licenses to someone who, for example, has a non-violent cannabis offense on their record, in the hopes of bringing more diversity into the fold.
Those folks, they're not going to have lawyers. They're not going to have lobbyists. They're not going to have consultants. They're trying to do it on their own.
And if a cannabis lounge is connected to a dispensary like Nevada Wellness Center, they won't have to compete for a license, meaning Hawkins might be able to open this lounge by the end of the year for people to finally consume marijuana in a legal setting. Something Tyler Klimas with the Cannabis Compliance Board says is a win-win for everyone.
Providing a legal place for individuals and visitors to consume cannabis hopefully helps both tourists who do participate in cannabis and those tourists who don't participate in cannabis by bringing some of that consumption off the streets.
So a lot of what this new approval does is bridge the policy gap, since they legalize recreational marijuana, but no place to legally smoke it besides the privacy of your own home. And as the board is hoping to also just get smokers off the Strip, downtown Las Vegas, outside of the hotel rooms, and give them a legal place to smoke marijuana. And as Hawkins said, to also hopefully diversify the industry in the process.
Hi everybody, I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates. Thanks for watching.